Hello again, back for another video. My name's David, I'm Premium Blu-rays, and we're looking all Christmassy. We've got a Christmas tree, we've got lights. We're getting there. I watched my first Christmas movie the other day, a film called Last Christmas. Yep, and also I saw a film called Spontaneous, which had part of it set in Christmas time. So that was, I'm kind of trying to get into Christmas spirit. I don't normally watch Christmas movies, it's not my thing. But I'm going to try a bit harder this year. Maybe watch Krampus. Maybe watch a film called Rare Exports. It's been recommended to me as a really good Christmas movie. We'll see. But yeah, I'm still off work, so I'm still able to do these videos. Still got time to watch lots of films. Big change in my life. Had a bit of an epiphany the other day. A big change for me anyway. My Watchlist algorithm is about to change in the new year, which is pretty big news for my brain. At the moment, as I'm sure you're aware, my algorithm is reasonably complicated, but at the same time quite simple. I use Letterboxd for my watchlist, rated by Letterboxd reviewer. So the best films as reviewed will be at the top, and so on and so forth. And I watch in a trio sequence. So I watch a kind of brand new film, 2019, 2018. I will then watch a film that I should have watched that I haven't seen before. A film like Requiem for My Dream, which I saw for the first time, to my shame, only a couple of months ago, and it's one of my favourite films of all time now, probably. And then I watch an East Asian movie, can be new or can be old, to continue my East Asian odyssey of trying to watch Chinese, Japanese, South Korean, Taiwanese films. So my new algorithm is very simple, but one that I can't believe I haven't thought of before. I've added a rewatch algorithm. So a film that I need to rewatch that I have already seen before. A film maybe like Alien, just been released on 4K, so I watched the 4K version. A film like Time Crimes, for example, which I know that Carl from Into the Blue did a review of the other day, and these films maybe only seen once back in the day and need to rewatch and revisit and hopefully recommend to you guys. So yeah, so I've now got a quartet algorithm. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that in the new year. But for now, obviously I have to make sure that I'm now only watching films that were made in 2019, 2020 from now up until the end of the year. That's because I have to do my top 10 or my top films of the year, sort of top 25, but now it's down to top 10. So there could be a film out there that I haven't seen that's been released this year that could make it into my top 10. And already I saw a film the other day that went in at number 4. So yeah, so pretty much the rest of my year, the rest of the videos you're going to see are going to be new films that have a chance of getting into my top 10. Okay, so the first film that I thought had a good chance of getting in my top 10 was a film called Proxima. I bought the Blu-ray of this. No special features, no slipcover, but hey-ho. The reason I thought it's had a good chance is 3 reasons. The first reason is evergreen. The second reason is serious sci-fi, and I love serious sci-fi. And the third reason, it was directed by Alice Winocour, who wrote my favourite film of 2015 that I only watched a few weeks ago, a film called Mustang. So it had all the ingredients, and it's got Matt Dillon in it as well. And we all love Matt Dillon, don't we? So off the bat, the first thing to say is it's not a sci-fi film at all. It's a film that's got a sci-fi theme to it, I guess, set in a astronaut training camp, but it's not a sci-fi movie. It's a mother-daughter relationship film, and a film about a woman who, against all the odds, wants to become an astronaut, and it's set in the training camp, and it's kind of a film about her struggle and how, as a mother with a daughter and up against everyone, all the other astronauts are males, so you go up against that. It's kind of one of those films that is written, I suppose, by women for women, but men can obviously enjoy and relate to. It is a kind of quiet film. It's probably 1 or 2 big scenes in it, big emotional scenes. There's no action in it at all. I kept waiting for the spaceship to take off and then go off to Mars, and you see shots of Mars and all that, but spoiler there, but it's deliberately light in tone, I think. And the film hinges on Eva Evergreen's central performance. I mean, I've always been a fan, but she doesn't make great movies. But this is definitely her best film. And I also thought the dynamic between the alpha male Matt Dillon and Evergreen was pretty good. It didn't go where I thought it was going to go. It actually became quite a touching relationship, quite a touching story. But touches of Interstellar maybe with the daughter-father relationship there. This time daughter-mother. It's not in my top films of the year, unfortunately, but it's a good, solid movie. And if you like good dramas and you with a tinge of sci-fi, then I would check it out. The next film that I thought had a good chance of getting in my top films of the year was a film called System Crasher. I've got the Blu-ray again. This one I got from Amazon Germany for about €6 or €7, which is pretty cool. It is a film that is predictable, as in you've seen it before. The story of a child in foster care who is kind of unruly and difficult to look after, and she's like completely like out of control. And you kind of know where the film's going pretty much all the way through. But I think what makes this film stand out is two things. The first thing is the frenetic pace and the way that the editing is put together. It's kind of like quite dizzying to watch it. You are, from the get-go, you're kind of like, off she goes, causing havoc, and you're following her around and like, well. And it's a bit kind of, a lot of energy in the way the film is made, in the editing, the camera work, the photography. It's just, obviously it feels like it's made by a very young person. I don't know. But to match that is the incredible performance by the 12-year-old. I think she's, I don't know how old she's in real life, but I think she plays the part of a 9-year-old actually. Helena Zengel, a German young actress, newcomer. It's just mesmerizing. And it's kind of like, that really is the movie, her performance, and and the way that it is filmed. It's a very accessible film. I thought it was going to be quite extreme. There's a lot of swearing in it from the child, but I thought there would be a lot more violence, maybe sexual abuse. I was kind of preparing myself for a real tough time. But I watched it with my wife, and she doesn't like extreme cinema, obviously. She's normal, but I feel it's a film that probably anyone could watch, actually, would get a lot out of it, even though I think it will probably only have a small minority audience. But great performances all round, great addition to German cinema, and I would definitely recommend it. Hasn't reached my top films of the year, unfortunately, but it was definitely worth watching. Okay, so obviously I had to watch Mank. I'm obviously a big David Fincher fan. I looked at the poster, I looked at what the story was about, and I was like, wow, okay, this doesn't sound very interesting to me, even though I love Citizen Kane, a film about the writer of Citizen Kane. Like, really? And I think actually that is one of the problems with the movie. I'll talk about the other problem in a minute. It seems like a selfish film, actually. It's made by, it's written by David Fincher's father. It's kind of a film that obviously is a love letter to Citizen Kane. Not everyone's seen Citizen Kane. You kind of feel like you are watching a group of people who know something you don't, a part of a world that you maybe like to be part of, but you're not allowed to be. So everyone's quite aloof, and everyone's speaking a different language and talking in a way that is like, it feels like it's heavily scripted. Every line delivered kind of feels theatrical, and every nuance is very, very succinct. Having said that, the performances are pretty fantastic. I mean, Gary Oldman is incredible, and I think he really is one of the reasons why I actually did like the film in the end. Amanda Seyfried is she just steals every scene she's in. She's great. But it is a film that is all about the technicality. The photography, the black and white monochrome photography is beautiful. The camera angles and the shots are amazing, in homage to Citizen Kane, I'm sure. Light, shadows, blah, blah, blah. You know, all of that is kind of what makes the film interesting. So I think it's great for cinephiles, great to see on a big screen if you can. I think it plays in local cinemas. But, you know, it's got a very complex narrative about the political situation in the 30s and 40s. And I just felt like it was just a movie that very few people would connect with. I didn't connect with it emotionally at all. I didn't really care about the characters. I didn't really care about the story. I don't really care about, you know, that part of Hollywood, that time in Hollywood. I care about, you know, Citizen Kane. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful film. But it was a strange choice, I thought. I mean, it was just seemed a little bit like it was a kind of contrived pet project by David Fincher. It's way, way down in my favourite Fincher movies, I'm afraid. But, you know, I enjoyed it while I was watching it. I would probably watch it again. I kind of gave it 3.5, 4 stars. It's obviously not in my top films of the year. But yeah, that's what if that makes any sense, that's what I thought of Mank. Then I watched a film on Prime Video called Jellycato, which is an Indian film. I don't watch any Indian films, to be honest. Maybe Bollywood films now and again with my daughter. But this film completely blew me away. Let's just get that out there. From the first 10 minutes, it is a proper ascent on the senses, ears and eyes. It's in 4K on Netflix. A lot of the film is set in an Indian jungle, so it looks incredible. But this is a lot of this is about sound and also a unique cinematic experience. I felt like when I watched a film called Koyaanisqatsi in a cinema when it first came out, that was life-changing for me. The way that visuals and music, well, visuals and sound can be used to kind of tell a story. This felt not. I'm not saying this is in the same arena as Koyaanisqatsi, but it's certainly aiming to be. There is no real proper story. It's basically 90 minutes of guys chasing a buffalo. I mean, who would watch a film about that? So I don't think it's gonna hook people in from that when they kind of look at the plot synopsis. But the sheer kind of visceral experience is 100% worth it. There's a lot of men shouting, so that will get on your nerves. I guarantee it. Probably the best use of 4K I've ever seen. And probably the best use of rhythm and sound that I've ever heard, and editing. And it's just kind of like, it's just a real assault on the senses. The ending is magnificent, otherworldly was the word I would describe. It is a film with a message about the kind of I was gonna say the evils of men, I suppose but about the whole kind of the male ego, the male kind of domination, and it does hit you on the head of a sledgehammer a little bit, the message, and I won't say too much, but there's obviously an allegorical exercise here in men's barbarism and stupidity, maybe. And, you know, it's one of those films that I've never experienced anything like it in my life. Instantly, after a few minutes, I kind of thought, this is 5 stars. This is going to be in my films of the year, blah blah blah. And it is. It's a film that was in a few top 10s, but not many, obviously. But it's on Prime. So if you watch the first 10 minutes, then that is, I would at least do that, for goodness sake. Try it. And you might not last 90 minutes, but I would give it a go. It is very unusual, very different, very original, but very wonderful. So that's my part 1, and I'm going to do a part 2 in a few days' time. So thanks for watching, guys.